Raiders. I actually didn't know this. Raiders were the only team in the league to not have a single winning season from '03 to 2015. You get there in '08, and I'm always curious. I'll tie it back into leadership, but first, maybe surface level question. As a player, when you
Mm-hmm.
go to an organization like the Raiders, who have had turmoil
Mm-hmm.
and who have not won a playoff game in 20 something years. Again, as a 49ers fan, this brings me great joy. But in all seriousness, like as a player, when you go to an organization like that, like, do you think most players they're like, oh shit, like oh, I'm going to the Raiders, it's dysfunctional? Or do you think most players, and you specifically, I'm curious about your mindset, are they like, okay, like I can't wait to turn things around. Like I can't wait to be that leader, to be that voice that initiates the turnaround.
That's a great question. I'm going to lead off by saying this. I've always said this. This is 100% serious, true, and factual. Anyone that has played football at a high level, anyone, they have at some point in their time dreamt of putting on that silver helmet and black jersey. You're laughing, I'm smiling, but I am dead serious to you. There's
Why?
something about the
Tell us
mystique.
why.
There's something about the mystique. There was something about the tradition. There was something about Al Davis. There's something about the fame. There's something about the Hall of Famers that have been in that building. There's it cannot be explained until you are there and you feel it. And uh there's something about the fan base of the Raider Nation that every player wants to be a part of because it cannot be duplicated. It cannot be faked. It is a real thing. And when you are there and you embrace it the right way, there is no substitution for it. There is no feeling better than it. Other places can be loud. They can give these, you know, trendy and catchy nicknames to their fan bases. But you cannot have a substitution or duplicate that authenticity, the genuine nature of what the Raider Nation actually feels like when you are ingrained in it. Now, to answer your question, for me personally, I loved it. Growing up in Inglewood in LA, like, we couldn't wear Raiders paraphernalia in school because it was considered gang related, right? That's the era of Inglewood and LA that I grew up in. Um, you know, NWA was wearing it and they were the hardest things out, right? It's the best colorway, the best uniforms, it's everything, right? So I loved it. I didn't look at records. It didn't matter because again, you talk about those old cliche sayings. Perception becomes reality. And when you talk to a Raider fan, they don't tell you that we were 7-9 or 8-8. They tell you how much they love the Raiders. Again, it's the type of leader that Al Davis was. I told you a definition of leadership is how do you feel when I leave you? When you think about the Raiders, like people have to understand when you are a leader, no matter what respective business field you're in, you are in the business of people. Something that Al Davis understood to the furthest extent. Those are the lessons that help me being a businessman right now. How do you make people feel? So think about it. When you think about why you are unfortunately a 49er fan, right? You're a 49er fan not because of how many wins they got. What age did you become a 49er fan, would you say, Nick?
I was
Roughly.
like 12, 13,
Okay.
somewhere in there.
You're
Yeah.
12 years old and you couldn't tell me their record when they were 12 years old because it didn't matter to you. What you saw was the way the 49ers made someone else feel that was around you.
Mm.
I saw my dad get so excited and he was so happy when Roger Craig scored a touchdown, when Jerry Rice caught a pass, when Joe Montana won a Super Bowl. You saw the elation, the joy on someone's face. Or maybe it was, my dad was this fan, so I wanted to be exact opposite. It wasn't about records. We're in the business of people. So how does that team, how does that color, how does that person make you feel? And that is what starts that fandom. We're looking behind you right now, and you got a Sixers jersey. I'm going to guess that is Allen Iverson. A Raptors
Yep.
jersey. I'm going to guess that is Vince Carter. And a Kings jersey that is either going to be Chris Webber or White Chocolate Jason Williams.
C Web.
There we go. Not one team, but the way those guys made you feel when they played the game that we love. We're in the business of people.